Hello humans, Master DinnerFlax here, bringing you the low quality content you deserve, and today I'm going over a very strange variant of Lunalights I've kind of been testing and working with. I say it's weird because a lot of the choices are actually the exact opposite of what a lot of other people have been trying, but I'm going to explain them, and I'm going to kind of explain why I like these cards. But yeah, I'll just go straight into it. So first off, the completely absolute most important card in here, triple Kaleido Check. You want it in every opening hand, or a way to get to it in every opening hand. Sending all your monsters, whether they be now the main deck ones or the extra deck ones, to fuse, make rank 4 is very important and very strong. And the fact that it sends as cost is hilarious because you get to do what you want to do before they can really get a chance to stop it. And we got 3 Emerald Bird. Now, I know a lot of people either like very little of this or don't like it at all, but I actually really think this card's good. Like, the draw 1 is not the part that's really that interesting. It's kind of expendable because you're ditching a possible combo card for a random card. But that's not really the effect I'm after. So when it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, any card effect, it revives a Lunalight from your graveyard. Negates its effects, but that doesn't matter. And then we got Triple Tiger. It's the Pendulum Monster Reborn. It has so much synergy with so many things. You can use this, because it's a soft once per turn, you can use it multiple times per turn. Just very solid. 3 Blue Cat. I think it's the only one. Like, I guess one of these could be a Crimson Fox. And that would be fine too. But if you, it just, the boost is nice and it has synergy with other cards in here too. Like, if you were just like your last revival with Tiger, you could just bring it out, let it die, and get a different Lunalight. That happens sometimes. But it also has synergy with Diamond Dire Wolf, where you get a free pop with Diamond Dire and you get some deck thinning too. 2 Wolf. 3 is pretty overkill since it's not something you really summon or you want to even see multiples of. So 2 seems good. I almost feel like this is the only way you should be fusion summoning. I think Polymerization and even Lunalight fusion are terrible. They use way too many resources when you could just be doing other things. It's really just that simple. I think what I might do is actually put it up to 3 and just cut the Polymerization and fusion spells, because you don't need them. Like, ultimately, there's such a hard minus, and like, if they get disrupted at all, that's it. You lost your turn and probably lost the game. But Wolf is just like, it's a free fusion summon. So that's how I feel about the fusion spells. And then only 2 Martin Mystery. You send this with Kaleido Check, so I don't know why you would ever need 3. Searching the spells and traps is kind of terrible, because the trap card, unless you have a way to get it directly to your graveyard, is bad. Because this card on the field does, it's literally like, on the field, it's GX pack filler. Like, it's that bad. But in the graveyard, it's great. And like Lunalight Fusion, like I said, like, you don't really want to fusion summon in this stack with spells. You just want to do it with Wolf. That's how I feel about that. But it's a card that resets your Tiger, and it's a card that, if you do need to get a search just to get that extra card in hand, is very helpful. And then finally 1 Black Sheep. This is probably going to get cut for something else. Polymerization's terrible, and even like recycling something out of your grave isn't that helpful unless it's a Pendulum. So yeah, 3 Twin Twister, 3 Luna Space Light Perfume, which is really annoying. 3 Foolish Burial Goods, 3 Tinky, 2 Called by the Grave. These 2 really, really bad cards. Like, every time you think you want to fusion someone with a spell, you can always do something better. Like, that's just ultimately the issue with just, like, spells that fuse. is that you can turn those monsters into something better if you're using spells to fuse, and I just think that's awful. It's so self-defeating. But like Wolf, since it's a miracle fusion, you don't even have to worry about that. You just get a fusion on top of your board you already had. Upstart just for consistency, even though it doesn't really do much. And then 1 Soul Charge. For an OTK deck, this deck actually has a lot of ways to deal with cards outside of the battle phase. So this is pretty good. And like, this is to make sure you actually get established. Because one of the worst things that can happen to you is if they hit you with a certain number of disruptions, your turn can really just end before you even fuse, because you're only fusing when you're going for the kill. But if you can't go for the kill, you're not fusing, and if you're not going fusing, you're not going for the kill. Therefore, Soul Charge, get your establishment for next turn, like with these two, and maybe pop a board, maybe make an offensive card, and you can just fuse next turn. So that's how I feel. That's how I feel about this card. Like, it's like you don't even need to use it for that. If you want to kill your opponent, you can, but if they're throwing a lot of cards at you, you can just Soul Charge it all back, and you grind into them out. Like, this card should be banned for that reason. And triple impermanence and double of this. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to draw it unless you immediately have a way to get to the graveyard. Side deck doesn't matter. Extra deck, 2 Saber Dancer. I'm working out how I want the fusions to look, because this card's awful. Like, it's so useless. It's not an OTK creator, which is what you want from these fusions. So this card's useless. This card can't be summoned unless you play this, but this card also doesn't really help you that much. Like, it can, but it's honestly just a stepping stone to this card. But I don't want to play this at all, and this can't be summoned if I don't play this. And the only thing I really want to do with this is just toss it in the grave with Kaleidochick. But if I'm tossing it into the grave for a Kaleidochick, it means it's a slot in my extra that is just a Garnet that literally takes up space, like Herald of Arclight. And I feel like something that's this OTK practical and has a huge toolbox, I don't know if I like that. But at the same time, like, Leo Dancer is literally still the best fusion, is insane. And like, so what I've decided is I would actually try Sabers in some of the spots that I would want to play. Maybe not 2, but I'm definitely playing a copy at least of this, because it's, let's say they do out this. I don't want to put in more cards in my extra deck that just don't do shit. Like, that's awful. But with this, it might not be as just OTK itself. Like, it's going to enable an OTK if you have this on board, but it has slightly less immunities, but it's massive. Like, this card gets averagely, like, to the 48-52 range. It's a monster that needs to be outed with Utopia Lightning, but it's so big it can't be. Like, this card's just really, really good. And it's always something you can dump with Kaleidochick for another turn where you can just smash their face in even further. Like, this card's just really good. I have to work on the fusion ratios a little bit, but this card is worthless. This card is just going to be a stepping stone, which I don't like. But it's honestly just for this card and how powerful it is. Now, this is actually my favorite card in the extra deck, Fujinte Kagosuchi. This card is why I'm playing 3 Emerald Birds. Because what this card does is, when it's summoned, you mill the top 5 cards of your deck. Now, here's all you can mill. You can mill these, and when they're sent by this, you summon back a Lunalight from your grave. You can send these, search a spell or trap. You can mill anything if you have Tiger, as long as it's a Lunalight. You can mill these, and you can mill these. And in general, if you're sending any Beast Warrior, you're boosting up Saber Dancer. So there's a lot of situations where I just want to mill, see what I hit. Because with the Martinet 2, before you go into Darmadol, you actually want to make a rank 4 so you don't banish it. And what you can do is you can make this, and go ahead and mill, Tiger revive back one of your guys, and then link those into Darmodal, and then Martin's going to bounce back the Tiger, then you activate Tiger again, get another monster, and you made a Link and a second rank 4, which you could even do it again if you want to. This is not even a soft once per turn. You can do this as many times as you want. It's just the only issue is you can only control one, so you have to link the first one off. And then if you don't want to do that, you can go into Tiger King instead, which can search you a Tinky, and its effect is actually really helpful. Against like certain established Nightmare boards, they have Cerberus and Phoenix. You can just negate all of it, just push through. A lot of effects you just want to turn off. This guy's just really good at it. Sometimes I want to play 2 just for the turn, just negating effects, but I don't really have room. And then 1 Diamond Dire Wolf. This card is only played because it has a lot of synergy with the deck. So you can pop Blue Cat to get a pop and a summon. You can pop Emerald Bird to get a summon out of your grave and a pop. Get a Spell Search and pop. Which is something I forgot to mention with Kagasuchi is its other effect is that it protects itself from any destruction by detaching a material. Now when it detaches a material to do this, it's treated as a card effect. So what that means is if you have Emerald Bird or Yellow Martin under it and you protect it, it'll detach for its effect to trigger their effects, which is really nice. Which is one of the reasons why I might try the red one, because it also just needs any card effect to activate, even though like all it does is a reduce attack, but that's pretty neat. And then Nightmare, it's a defensive XE. For the links, you got 2 Darmodal. I use 2 a lot because the first one is just to like link away your XE after you've used it. So that's really important. Underclock, OTK enabler, Nightmare Unicorn, and Boral Sword, which is super redundant, but I can't think of any Link 4 I need right now. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to try to get some replays for this, but if you guys don't know, YouTube itself is having a lot of issues now that they're trying to remove Google Plus from it, and like it's glitching all over the place. I actually was ready to post videos like late last week, but YouTube was like, it wouldn't let me access my Creator Studio, so it's like, holy shit, how do I do anything? But yeah, I'm gonna just try to keep posting, even though YouTube's a broken site right now. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching, and remember, Master DinnerFlax will take your soul.